On today's episode of the Rebrand Review, we're talking about the Facebook group rebrand to Meta. Is it good?
Or is it Meta?
I'm Tony Hardy, founder and director of Canny Creative.
I'm Glen Millen, creative director here at Canny.
This is our new film studio. It's the first time we've shot Rebrand Review here. The table is far too small. We're going to need a bigger table. But hey ho.
I don't mind Tony, but sometimes this can be slightly too close.
It's a bit snug
Yes.
in the old Rebrand Review set today.
Yes.
Today, we're talking about Facebook's rebrand to Meta. Everybody was confused as hell when this came out because essentially they were like, why is Mark Zuckerberg stealing Black Mirror?
Yeah. And it's just a bit of an odd one because I don't think anybody realised whether or not it was sort of Facebook, the company, or it was Facebook. Every started looking at the phones, looking at their apps and saying, is this going to change? Is it going to change Instagram? Is it going to change this? But it was a bit of an odd one. Nobody really came with any explanation when it first just hit the screens.
So basically the whole premise is we're going to all be living in AR, VR, in goggles. We're going to have contact lenses that do funny things, watches that pop up. Yeah. It's going to be a strange few years. And Meta are going straight in and creating this Metaverse. And the whole story behind their name is kind of like Meta means like the beyond, but their identity just
does not look like the beyond.
It looks like he has a corporate brand identity and let's roll that shit out.
Very, very much so. It's a bit of a strange one.
Up to now in the Rebrand Review, I would say across the board we've been fairly nice to everybody. We don't understand the brief or things like, fuck them. Let's just go straight for the jugular. There's been some appalling rebrands happening.
I don't even think there's some disgusting elements to it. It's just
weird.
Nothing. There's nothing really to like sort of hit you in the face and go, oh, this was a really grand idea or it was a really good idea, and it's like it's just nah.
Well, put it this way: there was more memes about the brand than actual story and value to the brand itself. Like that was Feta, Mark Zuckerberg holding some Feta. Yeah. That was Mark Zuckerberg dresses Syndrome off The Incredibles. But what else is there? It's just like
there's nothing really to it.
And like the logo looks like it kind of looks alright in 3D when it's animating around, but like when it's flat, it's literally just that.
Yeah,
it is just flat.
It really, really is, and I mean it doesn't really help when they sort of partner with this the bog standard Facebook sort of type.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about the beyond, you're thinking, oh, this is a chance for them to do something different. And they've just brought back that corporate looking.
So for context, Facebook designed their own typeface. They use it throughout all of their brands. And then they've slammed this big bendy M with the Facebook typeface, which I guess is now the Meta typeface.
Yeah.
Slammed them together, and the M's all really hard edged and it's cut short. It's really nice actually. I really actually do like the typeface. But sitting with that icon, just doesn't work.
It doesn't really work.
Visual wise,
I mean,
what do you do with that?
This seems to be like an ongoing trend at the moment where you can see these really nice 3D visual like sort of ideas, and obviously the whole idea is sort of following the bendy M, but there's not really anything to it. What's it for? Like,
so we're looking at a series of posters, and essentially there's 5 poster designs, but they just don't say anything.
Yeah. I mean, even that center one, the future will be made by all of us. Like, what does that visual shape and how does that? I mean, we might be missing something here, but I don't feel like we are.
We're outing ourselves as really poor designers to our YouTube millions of followers. There's a big sign they've put up on One Hack Away. That's fucking boring as well.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah,
it's just a big M on a white background.
It annoys us because you've got this big M on the white background, but then they still managed to put their logo right down to the left of it, where that's still going to be relatively big, and it's just, you could have done so much with that.
One thing that has come out of it is they've made like these ad spots for YouTube. So there's like virtual basketball, virtual boxing, people riding Peloton looking exercise bikes. And like all that like ad collateral, I don't know if they made that in-house as well, but like the whole brand identity was made in-house by Facebook's design team, and it's a case, like, what the hell do you call it? Textbook case, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a textbook case of, like, why you shouldn't do shit in-house. People too close to it have spoiled it. And then I think the ad spots might have been done outside because there's something more interesting there.
Something more creative. And again, it seems to actually have more of the concept of like mixing the two worlds together, the real and what we're now calling the metaverse. Like, and it does actually seem to have a bit of story, sort of campaigny. But it is very nice.
And then the colour, Meta's kind of aligned itself more to the Facebook platform by using blue, but there's a WhatsApp and Instagram that also own. And then, like, if Meta's the group where they all live, I don't understand why Meta gets the blue and is aligned more closely to Facebook. That seems like a massively missed opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, there might be some actual consideration as why they've used the blue, but again, blue to me is pretty cool, safe.
Corporate.
Like, these days when you think of tech becomes very gradient based, going on the pinks, the purples, nice bright visuals, whereas this again, it's just seemed to be anchored down by corporate blue. corporate blue, as you say.
Facebook brand basically has been dragged through the mud. Like, let's not beat around the bush. They've got a shocking reputation. They probably have crawled through the mud themselves. But this feels like a forced attempt to distance from that. And it almost feels like they've went, hey, look at our shiny new object over here, but actually the shiny new object doesn't have any substance. It's like, oh, we're going to do this thing, but it'll be better in 20 years.
We'll actually think about it once we've got something out really quickly because
to distract you.
Kind
of like the British government. It's like, hey, we're having a party, here's a press release about something else. Anyway, let's score it. Needless to say, it's going to be pretty low. Concept 3. Stolen straight from Charlie Brooker, but they do say good artists imitate, don't they? They don't create original things. So, 3,
Logo, we went for a very, very low 1. There's just not really any substance to it. It's very, we don't really know. We understand it, but it's really not pushing any boundaries.
We'll be more lenient on the visuals. There's not much context to the posters, but the ad spots are good. 3.5 across the board. I do think the visual style in a few years' time will become more interesting and there'll be some things get said. And then I can see it working.
Definitely. Colour, again, pretty low. 2. It's just corporate blue. There's not really much to say about it. Not really much to judge. It's just not great.
And then typography, 2. It's nice, but it works better on all of Facebook's other applications. Not so much here. Overall, that's a grand total of 2.3. It's not a very grand total at all.
It's not grand.
That's it. That's been this episode of Rebrand Review. Like, comment, subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.